Troubleshooting ECC Certificate Visibility in AWS Certificate Manager CLI. This podcast is brought to you by Business Compass, LLC. We are an Amazon Web Services advanced consulting partner. We build and migrate workloads to Amazon Cloud. Our website is businesscompassllc.com. Our phone number is 973-638-2228. Our email address is contact@businesscompassllc.us. Overview of AWS Certificate Manager and ECC certificates. AWS Certificate Manager, ACM, is a managed service that simplifies the process of provisioning, managing, and deploying SSL/TLS certificates on AWS services. These certificates are used to secure network communications and establish the identity of websites over the Internet or resources on private networks. ACM supports both RSA and elliptic curve cryptography (ECC) certificates, with ECC certificates offering advantages such as improved security and performance with smaller key sizes. Introduction to AWS Certificate Manager and the importance of ECC certificates. ECC certificates are becoming increasingly popular due to their efficiency and enhanced security. Compared to traditional RSA certificates, ECC certificates require smaller key sizes to achieve the same level of security, leading to faster SSL/TLS handshakes and reduced computational overhead. This makes ECC certificates particularly valuable in environments where performance and security are paramount. Initial discovery of the issue. While working with AWS Certificate Manager through the AWS Command Line Interface, CLI, a peculiar issue may arise. ECC certificates might not be listed when querying ACM. This problem can be surprising, especially for users who expect to see both RSA and ECC certificates available for management and deployment. Observing the absence of ECC certificates in AWS Certificate Manager listings. The issue manifests when users run CLI commands to list certificates in ACM, expecting to see a mix of RSA and ECC certificates. However, the results may only display RSA certificates, with ECC certificates conspicuously absent from the listings. This absence can lead to confusion and concern, particularly for users who have deployed ECC certificates and rely on them for secure communications. Investigation across different regions and profiles. To understand the scope of the issue, it's essential to investigate whether the absence of ECC certificates is consistent across different AWS regions and profiles. By cross-checking the region and profile settings, users can determine if the problem is isolated to a specific area or a more widespread issue affecting multiple regions. Cross-checking region and profile settings to identify the scope of the problem. When encountering the absence of ECC certificates, verifying that the correct region and profile settings are used in the AWS CLI is crucial. This involves running the AWS configure command to ensure the intended region is selected and the appropriate credentials are used. By conducting this cross-check, users can rule out the possibility of a configuration error being the root cause. Comparison with RSA certificates. One of the critical steps in diagnosing this issue is to compare the behavior of ECC certificates with that of RSA certificates within AWS Certificate Manager. RSA certificates, widely used for years, typically appear without issue when listed through the AWS CLI. The contrasting behavior, where RSA certificates are visible but ECC certificates are not, can provide valuable clues in identifying the underlying problem. Contrasting behavior between ECC and RSA certificates in AWS Certificate Manager. While ECC certificates remain hidden, the consistent listing of RSA certificates in ACM suggests that the issue is specific to ECC certificates. This discrepancy raises questions about whether a bug in the AWS Certificate Manager service might affect the visibility or management of ECC certificates through the CLI. Potential bug identification. Given the evidence gathered from cross-checking region profiles and comparing RSA with ECC certificates, it's reasonable to hypothesize that the issue may be due to a bug within AWS Certificate Manager. This bug could prevent ECC certificates from being listed or managed correctly via the AWS CLI, even though they are available and operational. Hypothesizing a bug in AWS Certificate Manager regarding ECC certificate listing. The hypothesis of a bug gains further weight if the problem persists across multiple AWS regions, and is reproducible with different AWS accounts or profiles. Reporting the issue to AWS support for further investigation would be advisable. AWS users encountering this problem should provide detailed logs and steps to reproduce the issue, which can help AWS engineers diagnose and resolve the bug. Thank you for listening to our podcast. Please share this podcast, visit our website, and follow our social media links.